So welcome to AlphaCars and Ural motorcycles. My name is Dimitri. I'm here with Ian. He is running the camera, and I'm running 2018 Ural Retro M70. Very, very exciting bike. Behind me I have 2023, and that seems like that took the spotlight this year. But actually, for those of you that know Ural lineup, you would recognize this bike as something very, very special. And I'm going to mention a few things about the retro platform. So until 2018, in small quantities, Ural factory produced what's called retro platform motorcycles. We'll tell you why it's retro. And then we will also mention that they produced what's called retro classic. And they also produced retro M70, and in fact in 2012 they produced M70 limited edition, very special motorcycle. The difference is that the classic had, for the most part, it was black with white pinstripe, and usually it had aluminum engine. It did not have black powder coated engine. There are some variations we ordered from the factory of classic of different colors, but black with white stripe with aluminum engine was most common. We actually have one 2013 on our website, and that is also extremely unique because 2013 is the last year of of carbureted. I was going to say naturally aspirated. They're all naturally aspirated. But from the standpoint of not having electronics and having the most reliable Ural, 2013 is the year. I would say 12 and 13. So we have that bike, so check that out. This is 2018. It's the last year of the retro. The software was updated to include the latest version that makes it run nice and smooth. And also, this bike has a black semi-gloss finish and factory ceramic coated exhaust, which is very, very durable, and it was a pretty expensive option, so this bike has it. As you can see, it has dual tractor seat, and the retro, before we get into seats, I'm going to point out that the retro platform, for those of you that don't know, and those of you that do, you can fast forward a couple of minutes, but the retro platform is has signature elements. The main one is the A-frame. A-frame because you can see the letter A, and it's a A-frame. Teardrop gas tank. You noted that it has the telescopic forks versus the Ural signature Earl's forks or leading fork suspension, and the telescopic forks are Marzocchi suspension, which is the top of the line, the best money can buy. It also has 18-inch wheels versus 19-inch wheels. You can see it has a slim fender placement, single-piece headlamp. And the most important thing is it actually has a different sidecar frame, and it's a little bit wider than a regular standard configuration Ural. You actually have more space between the bike and the sidecar. You have lower center of gravity, you have wider vehicle, so you have a better handling vehicles. These vehicles handle a lot better than the high off the ground two-wheel drive Urals. When I say handle a lot better, take that right-hand turn, you can go a little bit faster before your sidecar will start going up. So I took the break to grab my gloves because it's actually pretty cold. We're expecting some snow, which is a welcome feature when you want to really have fun in your two-wheel drive Ural motorcycle. That is definitely a lot of fun, I can tell you firsthand. So I also grabbed my gloves. We're good to go. Speaking about the seats, now that we covered the differences of the retro platform, so the retro comes, you can only get one type of seat, and that's the solo seat. And then with the solo seat, you have a little bit of options, and we're going to get the camera up close. I'll show you right here, which is also true for your non-retro Ural. If you have the seat, you can actually move the seat almost 2 inches. There are 3 holes right there. And also you can elevate, you can move the seat up by installing our Ural of New England seat spacer, which comes with stainless steel bolts, because you need longer bolts for that. And now with that in, you can see the seat is higher. There's another thing you can do, and this bike has it. You can add an additional seat spring, which again will need the camera a little bit closer, and you'll see that instead of 1 spring, it has 2 springs. And a good example of 1 spring would be the seat in the rear. You don't want to put too much weight behind you for a couple of reasons, especially on the retro motorcycle. Unlike a non-retro Ural, retro Ural uses 18-inch wheel, we mentioned that, and the 18-inch wheel has a different lower weight capacity. So there's a limit to how much weight you can put in the rear, but it's definitely, and we have a formula for that, so if you're curious, if you want to be by the book, we can help you with that. But I thought I'd mention it. But for example, this bike is set up for any rider. Like I get on this, I felt pretty comfortable, but certainly anyone with a weight over 220 pounds, you definitely want to have the two springs there. I'm not there yet with my weight, but it still felt reasonably comfortable. I could tell it's a little firmer seat though, and it's easy to remove it and install it. The other thing you can do, if you have 1 spring, you can move it by loosening up this hardware and the one on the bottom. You can move it in and out. The closer you move to the center, the softer it gets. If you bring it all the way out this way, it gets a little bit firmer. So that's a nice, actually a lot of people don't know about that, so we want to mention that in this video. So that's as far as the seats go. When you get on the bike itself, whether it's retro classic or retro M70, and we'll take you in the showroom, we have a couple of classics there, but it definitely is, it's a different bike configuration, and it rides different. I actually like how retro feels on the road. For paved road, I would actually prefer this over the 2-wheel drive Ural because it's lower to the ground, and you can do a little bit more with it. And also the sidecar handling, traditionally, and that is true, the leading front suspension system is better optimized for the sidecar operation. That's a fact. But somehow Ural factory managed to optimize the telescopic forks on the retro and find just the right angles to make this work, and it handles just as good, if not better, than a regular Ural. So the key placement is on the top. You have the classic traditional single piece headlamp. That is, I love these, and it definitely has a much better classic feel to it. And you would also notice, speaking of classic feel, that the lights are round lights instead of the square lights on a standard Ural. So we're going to start this bike, and we're going to let it idle a little bit. I only rode it a tiny little bit over here. So this bike has 2,500 kilometers. It runs phenomenal. It's very, very quiet. So this is a Gen 1. And yes, everybody talks about Gen 2 is better. And of course it's better, it's newer. But I don't have any issues with Gen 1 when it's updated to the latest software. You do need to let the bike warm up for maybe a minute or two, which is a good idea for any motor vehicle. Once the engine reaches the normal operating temperature, this system works really nice, really, really, really nice. And it's a very simple system. There are minimum amount of sensors, and it runs great. So I'm gonna take this bike just around the parking lot. Then we'll invite in to the sidecar and we'll do it again together. So we do have the parking brake. It was off. And the gears also engage nice and smooth after just a few miles. You can see the throttle response is already there. And as the engine warms up, it's just going to be absolutely perfect. And I'll mention one other detail, is it also has the steering, hydraulic steering damper. So you can make all the same adjustments you do on the regular Ural. So you can make your fork nice and easy for low speed back road riding. Generally you'd want to have it in the middle, or you can go all the way and really tighten it up, which is the way to have it for off-road operation and on the highway. I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle. And you can also put it in reverse. I had it in first gear. You don't have to put it in neutral. You can go in reverse right from here. So we're going to back out of here and not hit our mailbox. And I'm going to put it in neutral, first gear, and we can pick up some speed. Let's invite in to the sidecar.
Plenty of room in here.
Yes.
Plenty of room.
Yeah. And again, if you show the foot placement, there's a lot of room here. Just here's your foot brake, here's your reverse, and we're in first gear, so we're going to take off. Picks up good speed. In fact, we picked up excessive amount of speed because we blew off ahead from my passenger. Something I should be much more careful about. We're going to pick it up right here. Here it is. Zoom in on it. We don't want to miss that.
There's my hat.
Yes. So that's the beauty of sidecar.
Yeah, I mean, we actually just took a ride in the normal gear up, and you can just tell how this hugs the road. It's definitely lower center of gravity. It's like, it's just ready and eager to turn and feel nimble.
Yeah, and it's a right-hand turn, and I feel much more comfortable. I may have to lean. I don't have to, but I just did it because that's something that I'm used to. But you can see it just really stuck to the road much better on the right-hand turns than your regular Ural. Ian, have you ridden retros?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can relate to...
oh yeah, you feel like you're off to the races.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they handle awesome. It's a blast.
Yeah, and the again, it's effortless to turn because usually when you have telescopic forks and you have the sidecar, it's much harder to operate compared to that system over there. But with retro, somehow they managed it. Well, let's get to this specific bike and we show you the details and the condition of this motorcycle. So we're going to put it in reverse. Back it up right next to 2023 bronze Ural we have right there. We'll shut this off. So
very easy to get in and out of.
yes, it's a little bit lower. You can actually see them side by side, and it's definitely, in the car world, I would compare this to a sports car, maybe a Porsche, because it has horizontally opposed engine.
Yeah, it's true.
And this would be my Jeep Wrangler, maybe Land Rover Defender. Actually, I'd qualify that.
Yeah.
So here I am in front of the 2018 Ural Retro M70, and this bike has some nice features. We covered some of them. It has the bumper, which was optional. We already talked about ceramic coated exhaust. The headlamps were optional. This is the ceramic field aluminum nameplate, which is a true factory nameplate, and it is here for the reason we're all about transparency. We know that there's a small paint imperfection, but the imperfection took place exactly in the center. So the previous owner placed this nameplate to distinguish the motorcycle and also to cover that little imperfection. So we want to be transparent about that. We already talked about the retro classic lights, which come standard on all retros, but if you really like them, we have them as an optional upgrade for your regular Ural. Here's your cargo rack, which is an option. Here's an ammo box, which no one uses for ammo. And you can also easily pull it out, take your goodies with you. There's a rubber gasket, and you can also put it back in and lock it in. That's a very nice accessory.
Yeah, that's very nicely engineered. I like that.
Yes, it's heavy duty.
Yeah.
And you can even put a padlock on it. It'd look awesome. Here's your trunk, and we have the owner's manual with all the instructions, and it's practically a shop manual because you have everything from your wiring schematics down to service procedures. That's all there. You have the toolkit, and when we received this bike, there were light scratches and scuffs, and we cleaned them all down to the metal. We applied the proper primer, we put the floor mat, and we did the same over here. And this is something common. If you have the Ural, definitely go there more often and check to make sure, because often this rubs through the paint and it starts with a surface rust. Again, it's not a big deal, but we want to keep things nice and clean. So we actually cleaned all the surface rust, we treated it chemically, then we applied the proper primer, and then we did the chip guard. So now it's better than factory because the chip guard will take a lot more abrasion and abuse compared to factory paint. And actually now we also offer, factory offers spray-on liner right from the factory. Nice option. So this is something we did here. We have the teardrop gas tank, signature retro detail. Look at that Brembo caliper, floating rotor. We have a nice visor up here. Those are LED lights. Let's turn them on. Are they on? Yes, they're on. I like the incandescent lights on retro from the appearance standpoint. From the amount of light on your road for safety, you can upgrade this to the LED light. It will match that. Having that and the LED would be awesome. From the condition standpoint, I'm looking at this bike, I'm trying to see what are the imperfections that we can and that we should be disclosing. I see a little bit of, there's a brand name, it's a company that makes the seat covers for Ural, and the little thing is kind of worn, so maybe you or we can trim that. That's that. The paint finish looks awesome throughout. I don't see any issues anywhere. There are no scrapes on the underbody. Everything actually looks very, very nice. We installed a new tire.
The rear tire's new.
The rear tire is new.
And the rear brake pads are new.
The rear brake pads in. Thank you very much, because I almost forgot about that. So we have a brand new tire in the rear, and the one that was there was good. But again, given the condition of the bike, the low miles, we certainly could have swapped it and with this tire, but this is brand new, this is brand new. This tire has minimal use and it's almost in new condition. You can see the front tire, which is in great condition. So there it is. It's the bike that you cannot buy new. Once we go through these low mileage retros and M70s, these are going to be really sought after bikes. They already are. In fact, carbureted bikes with low miles and in excellent condition are harder and harder to get, because for the retro, that carbureted appeal, which is, by the way, very reliable carburetors, and they work great. Thanks for watching this video. We want to remind you we have phenomenal e-store where you can find great line of accessories for your Ural motorcycles and for your Royal Enfields for that matter. So please consider visiting that. There will be links in this video. Let us know which videos you like the best by simply clicking the like button. And consider subscribing so you don't miss the exciting content. Thanks for watching. My name is Dimitri. I'm here with Ian. Until next time.